Ntanzi has taken the stand in the trial within a trial. His lawyer, Sipho Ramasipele, is leading his evidence. Ntanzi details the events of the day of his arrest on the 16th of June 2020. Now, 5 men are on the trial for the footballer's 2014 murder.
Then what happened as the 2 males knocked at your residence?
I stood up and I opened the door. 2 gentlemen came in. When I opened, they greeted and I responded. And then one of them said, "We are looking for you, Siyanda." I then asked this gentleman, "Why are you referring to me as Siyanda? Because I am not Siyanda."
Let me stop you for clarity. The 2 gentlemen that knock at your door, you open for them and they say, "We are looking for you." Did they identify themselves to you?
They introduced themselves when we were outside because they requested me that we have a chat outside.
Thank you, Suspect.
Good day, masterminds. This is a second edition of our session. Today we decided to get in as much as possible. So this is the second edition. And Jab just showed us a video there of Ntanzi said testifying in the trial, within the trial. And Jabs, what is it that you just showed us? Can you just explain to us?
Good morning, Suspect and Real Mastermind. Again, we're saying, I am looking for you, Siyanda. That was a clear recollection of Ntanzi's evidence when he was recalling back, when he was being arrested by Sergeant Mohane and Mabena. We are looking for you, Siyanda. So that was the beginning of questions. If you know you've been led to a person that you're looking for Ntanzi, and Ntanzi's name is Mafiga. What's the other one? Bongani. Mafiga Bongani Ntanzi. So, but why would they call him Siyanda? There is one part. So that for me, it shows the beginning of the discrepancies, of the loophole with relating to this case. When we look at this week, what has happened, Suspect? It's under spotlight again, the discrepancies of the AVL, the discrepancies about the vehicles that were being used. Mainly is the discrepancies about a BMW, which Ntanzi says it was being driven. It was being driven by, that Ntanzi says it was being driven by Sergeant Mohola. It's that white BMW. Now, how is it possible then? Then we are being forced to trust everything that the state says and then question everything that the defense is presented so far. Why the state witnesses are the one that has to be trusted at their first time they taking a stand, that we were there, we didn't beat him up. When then they changed their evidence that, oh, it's the same Tanzania that said the first time I met Jonathan was nearby the garage, which is the engine garage, when the vehicle now confirmed. And then Mohane later confirmed that he called Jonathan and them to come and do and assist them with the fitting. Now that we understand how EMPD, Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department functions, there's no provision for them to escort breakdown vehicles. There's no provision for them to be part of the police investigations. So now, let's now zoom in, now that we understand the discrepancies that have been taking place in this case. Why now are we having difficulties to believe accused number 1 and accused number 2 when they talk about a white BMW? But the very same white BMW was first denied that it even existed. It only became into the party in 2021. But then now yesterday in court, we then learned that no, it became available in July 2020. There's a discrepancy again. Whose version remained constant here? It's Dan's version.
Dan's version.
What do you know, when I suspect, about this BMW? And also maybe give us clarity, because you've been inside the police department, SAPS. How does assets work? How do we get to recording government estate assets?
Okay. In terms of vehicles, you know that we have this department in SAPS called the Fleet Management Department, which is responsible for all the SAPS fleet. So you will get the National Fleet Management Department, and then you get the Provincial Fleet Management Departments. Each and every vehicle that are purchased by SAPS, those vehicles are being processed by the Fleet Management Department. The fleet manager of a province or of a police station or wherever, they are the ones who are receiving the vehicles. Let's say the vehicles come to supply chain management, because you have your supply chain management. Yeah? So supply chain management is responsible for the purchases of everything in SAPS. Now on the vehicles, inside the vehicle department is your fleet managers. They receive the registration papers of the vehicles. They are the ones who are responsible to go to the traffic department to register their vehicle. The fleet manager at the police station or the department will be the one who is responsible when the desk of this vehicle expires. There was even a time, this vehicle is now, let me say, this vehicle is the property of the fleet manager. This vehicle, when the vehicles are being allocated to different units, these vehicles become the property of the fleet manager. The fleet manager must take responsibility for anything that is happening to that vehicle. The fleet manager will know when that vehicle has been taken to be fitted with a tracker or an IVR device.
So, if you say that, let's go on Google. When you look at Google, fleet management, it tells us SAPS is dedicated. It manages over 10,500 vehicles. So this is. So are you telling us, Suspect, that if Mnisi wants to subpoena a person, that's the person who's the fleet manager that has to come and account, because he will have an acquisition document that say, I bought this thing. But wait a minute, Suspect. I remember the time when I got worried about this case of Senzo Mayo. The way that the police have handled it, they've then compromised the security of the country. Because I understand, Suspect, that all police officers that are doing investigation and dealing with different crimes or criminal investigation, they will drive vehicles, which part of and parcel of fleet manager is to, once the vehicle has been acquired, they will then, with the registration, they will fix the registration to a particular thing so that it doesn't reflect SAPS. But once that operation is completed, then the vehicle is reintegrated back to the SAPS, which then now, Suspect, as you're trying to explain to us, I want us to be aware that, remember Mangena's evidence, which was strange. He showed us a key for a BMW in court. Now, I'm also aware that he said in 2014, he went there with a Jetta. also the AVL that should be required is Mangena's AVL. For him, remember on June 20, relating to the arrest, because he's saying that he traveled on when Spear was being arrested for the measurement. And then suspect Kininda, I want you to unpack this thing. And then Kininda must tell us on the 17th when Mangena was going to measure and dance. What was the vehicle that Kininda was driving? Because we already know that on the 17th, Mohola was traveling alone to go to the boardroom. Now, so now the AVL spooks. We need AVL for Mangena.
The other thing, each and every vehicle in the SAPS have a vehicle register. That vehicle register have been called the SAPS 32B.
Okay.
It's allocated. There's an SAPS 32B allocated to each and every vehicle in the SAPS. When you enter that vehicle, you must complete the register that the just required. When you enter the vehicle, you must complete the register. You must write in there what was the odometer reading before you started the engine. You must write it in. And after you get out of the vehicle, you must write the odometer. No. Go to the SAPS vehicle register. Go Google it on the SAPS vehicle register. I think I gave you the wrong SAPS number. But when another driver comes to enter the vehicle, that driver must write there in red pen what was the odometer reading when that driver entered the vehicle. And then it will go like, so at any given moment, when the vehicle, at the end of each and every month, there must be a submission of the petrol slips to the fleet manager. There's also the function of the fleet manager. Now the fleet manager must now complete the monthly return of the vehicles in his possession. And those monthly returns must be sent to head office because they must be a register. They must keep register of the kilometers that vehicle traveled for that month and how much fuel that vehicle used for that particular month. If this vehicle doesn't have vehicle registers, the fleet manager is not going to know, because remember, each and every vehicle are also being issued with a petrol card. So they must, yes. So they must keep records of each and every. If there is a speed fine issued, that speed fine is not going to Kininda or Mohola or whoever. The speed fine is going to the fleet manager because those vehicles are registered in the name of the fleet manager.
Now, Suspect, you've mentioned something there that, because I know I've been involved in doing certain things with the police cars, basically. When we receive these GTIs that we're receiving, Suspect, all of them, they will come with registration numbers, and inside the keys, it's already a fuel card. The fuel card has a registration number of the vehicle. So that fuel card is linked to the actual registration of the vehicle. Now, so now, if then the vehicle, like the Golf GTI, did not have a AVL, now the red Golf, then Mnisi can request the the fuel card transaction around those dates when
There's you know what? There's so many ways for Mnisi to request that information because everything in SAPS are being tracked. Just the vehicle register alone. Mnisi can track each and every movement of that vehicle just with the vehicle register because each and everything, the petrol slips, everything, the speed fines, everything is supposed to be in that vehicle register.
Yes. So now, because they're not fueling, because we know that that vehicle even went to Umsinga, it was traveling around, they were not putting fuel with their own money. With all respect, SAPS, I think they are being paid sufficient. They're not being well paid. They're being paid.
Now they don't fuel with their own money. They do not fuel with their own money. And even if they withdrew advances for the fuel of the vehicle, there's also history of that advance because if you're going to go on the name and the personal number of the specific person who have withdrawn a cash advance, it's on the system. It will show on the system. Because
So-
they must fill in the forms to say, I want to withdraw cash advance for this vehicle for this period. Everything is there.
So we're saying two masterminds now, because you've been called by newspaper as a real mastermind. Now you're taking South Africa on a journey. How they can find you? They can now get a registration number of the Golf, because you are the mastermind suspect.
Yes.
And you must go through with the petrol slips or with the transaction on. We must subpoena the fuel manager, the fleet manager must come with all the petrol receipts during this period, where this car was filling fuel. So if then the car has a petrol card, therefore that vehicle ought to have an AVL. So it will be a lie
To say that vehicle was not fitted with an AVL. Just as much as this BMW that Belinda is now denying that BMW was. That simple thing is to subpoena the fleet manager to say we want the registration papers, the purchase papers, the registration papers of the BMW is going to be simple to see when did SAPS acquire this BMW.
And now, what we're saying this, and you've come on this platform, Suspect, and you said, you've asked IPID, are you watching? Because now this is IPID's role when the integrity and the security of the country has been compromised. With all respect, it's not normal, Suspect, that we should be talking about Brigadier's movement, allocation of cars and everything. But he put himself in this situation where we're questioning these things. It's for me, it's very uncomfortable.
And just remember another thing with Brigadier Gininda, where you could see that everything that Brigadier Gininda did was questionable. In the first place, Brigadier Gininda is not even supposed to drive a state vehicle because he is a SMS. They call it the senior management. He's on that level. From the rank of a colonel upwards, they are getting a subsidy from SAPS to purchase vehicles. And SAPS is paying a percentage of the subsidy. They are not allowed to drive SAPS vehicles. If he wants to be transported in a SAPS vehicle, there must be a written application.
All right. I like it because you say it must be a written application. So you are qualifying that it's not absolute.
And he is not going to drive it himself. He must be driven because he's already in the senior management. It's unlawful. You know what? There was a case in Free State where a colonel was dismissed because he was driving or he was transported in a SAPS vehicle without authorization. He was dismissed.
Yes. So, suspect what I'm trying to say here is that we know that around 2020, there was also an Audi, a Q5 or a Q7, also being linked to Brigadier. So let's just say his unit, National Cold Case Unit, it's really being established. It's being provided with resources. So it can also be normal that there could be certain vehicles that may have been allocated to National Cold Case, basically, for them to do their work covertly. Now, the question is, if in that SAPS you're doing work covertly, it needs to be documented somewhere.
Yes.
And it shouldn't have not even come to this part. The police will have come through and say, I am a Golf. Handsome Nisi was saying that a red Golf of Mamum Roti was doing the same work as a Fortuna, which the SAPS did not have problem to make the vehicle available to the defense. So now he was like saying, you cannot say now this car was doing different work, because if these cars were sensitive, that's what they would have done when the case started, saying, we'll rather have this evidence relating to this vehicle to be discussed in chambers or in camera because of the sensitivity in terms of how the state operate. But then now, what then has happened? They've now exposed how crime intelligence and the police will do when they conducting the investigation.
Yes. But as I said, in SAPS, and I believe in all government departments, but especially SAPS, even crime intelligence. Crime intelligence, you find your crime intelligence, you find your counter intelligence, you find your undercover, whatever. Even them, they get vehicles that maybe are registered in their own names, but still they must submit their fuel, because they also get their fuel advances that are being paid in their accounts. But they must, there's also the registers that they must fill in. They must submit their fuel slugs, because still there must be everything must be. Let's say their vehicles doesn't have, for obvious reasons, their vehicles are not fitted with tracker devices, but still they must account for their trips. And they must also fill in the registers, and they must submit their fuel receipts. It's not an issue of you are in undercover, you have leeway, you can do whatever you want. That money that you are using for those trips, they are still accountability. You must still submit your petrol slips. That I know for a fact. So now this cold case unit, it seems like they did whatever they want. They even pulled in EMPD to come and do whatever they want to do when they were arresting these dangerous criminals. Because remember, we were told that Ntanzi and Lucy was these dangerous criminals. Now, how come they are driving vehicles without tracking devices, transporting these dangerous criminals?
And you see, that is what is interesting, suspect.
Okay, the subs register, I missed one number. The subs register, the subs 132B is a vehicle register used by the South African Police Service to track and record details about vehicles owned or used by the service. It's a document that is used to record vehicle details, including type, SAPS number, and other relevant information. The register is also used to record fuel transactions, driver information, and any maintenance or repairs performed on the vehicle. Subs 132B.
There you go.
Each and every vehicle in SAPS have a subs 132B register in the vehicle. You cannot start the SAPS vehicle without that register.
Now, Suspect, you said there's a kernel that was fired. So there's a president in Free State. Now, I want you to actually even have a look at this thing. They also says that investigation diary SAP5 must be provided to complete the case record. So Mohane and them, this is what you've said.
Report, yes, there you said it's also cross-reference with other documents such as the investigation diary SAPS 5. Remember we spoke about the investigation diary where Giminda in the trial, within the trial said there's no such thing as an investigation diary. There's the investigation diary, the SAPS,
so,
that's brigadier of ours.
Yes, this is AI. So now, Suspect, here's the more breakdown. Can you just read the purpose of
the SAPS 132B serves as a comprehensive record of a vehicle's activity. Just a moment. Ensuring accountability and proper management of SAPS assets. The register typically includes details like vehicle type and SAPS number, journeys undertaken, service records, fuel, and oil slips. The SAPS 132B is inspected regularly by designated personnel. There's your fleet manager as function to inspect the vehicles in the SAPS 132B to ensure the correctness of entries and proper control of vehicle use. Then it says integration. It is also cross-reference with other documents such as the investigation diary SAPS 5 to provide a complete record of a case's progress. In essence, the SAPS 132B is a crucial document for managing SAPS vehicles and maintaining accountability for their use.
Now, Suspect, you are saying that if you don't have this record, it means that you did not participate.
I am saying if you don't complete the SAPS 132B, that means that you are using the SAPS vehicle unlawfully without authorization. That's what I'm saying.
Wow. So what is happening in Rata's court, it's a, what I was saying, what is happening in Rata's court is a momish, basically.
What is happening in Rata's court and Jabs is an embarrassment for the South African Police Service.
Yes.
As well as for the prosecuting, the National Prosecuting Authority, because Baloyi decided to prosecute a case without any evidence.
Yes, Suspect, there's something else that is interesting. We're still good with time. We've heard in the case that there was vehicle tracking department, and there's also Vodacom. Now we had the award in 2017. Can you please read the sponsorship, a glamorous event, and then stop?
The glamorous event was attended by the SAPS top management and was made possible by sponsorships from Vodacom, Trekker, and Polmed. Awardees were honored for their professionalism, selflessness, and exceptional contributions in the forensic services division.
Yes. So I'm not going to show the name because it has names there. That's the police magazine on the awards in 2017. But in Suspect, what is important there is that we spoke about General Pahlane in some of the forensic investigation. We spoke about the administration process which SAPS have, we've actually highlighted in the speech that they mentioned in this event. But then what is important is, Pat, in terms of what we're talking about here, we're saying that another element of forensic analysis or of linkages to a person, we say, fine, AVL, it should be then the police because it's a form of assets taking. Now, you've then now reminded us on the register, which is SAP 132B, which has all the information about the vehicle. And that also include the fuel thing. So there is no such thing as the logbook doesn't exist, because if the logbook doesn't exist, SAPS, you must report that and fill in a complaint that on this day you reported this logbook doesn't exist. Or now, quoting Mnisi again, to when he was doing cross-examination with Warrant Officer Roloff, when he's saying, so are you telling me that in our forensic labs, people can just do things willy-nilly? Now, if on Monday, anybody from the police or from Gininda's team is failing to produce this thing, and Gininda is not telling us that he's charging these members for failing to complete these forms, hence now they're making him to look like a Popeye in this court that is going to charge him, then it will be a lie. IPIT must watch.
Now, what I'm going to say now, I'm going to challenge the National Commissioner of the South African Police Service, General Fanny Masemula, to provide the SAPS 132B registers of all those vehicles, that were used by Gininda and his team. And if one of those vehicles doesn't have a SAP 132B register, I'm going to challenge the National Commissioner to charge Gininda and his team departmentally, because now it means that they use those vehicles without authorization. I'm also going to challenge the head of IPIT, Executive Director of IPIT, Mrs. Jennifer Nkatseng, to now come to the party. We cannot wait until this case has been finalized. It has been proven over and over and over again that police officers have misused their powers to cover up crime. They have misused state resources, and there was no accountability. IPIT must now come to the party. There's my challenge to the National Commissioner and to the Executive Director of IPIT. I once spoke to the Executive Director of IPIT, and she said is going to wait until this case has been finalized. This case can be finalized in the next 10 years, we don't know. We cannot wait until then. There's already adequate proof that police officers have broken the law.
Remember, masterminds, we're educating you guys. Today, we were educating you the role of SAPS 132B in relation to the court proceedings of this week, AVL record. So we kind of like saying, Rata, we don't need the officers to come through. We don't need their statements. We need their SAP.
We need the SAP. You know what? If we can get the SAP 132B registers, then that registers will prove to us what happened during that period when Ntanzi and Muzi was arrested. If there's no registers, Judge Rata, you must really now make a decision, because we cannot keep on wasting taxpayers' money with this case. Somewhere, somehow, a decision must be made in this case.
So now it means that Gininda might be on a stand for the next 6 months or so.
It means it can be on a stand for the next 5 years if we are going to keep on looking for things that doesn't exist. If we are going to keep on looking for things that doesn't exist, because in this case, Ntanzi have proven over and over and over again that police officers and senior police officers, a brigadier, have lied to South Africans and they have lied to the court.
Wow, Mastermind is this pet that says is now challenging the National Commissioner, the NASCOM, about SAPS 132B. Wow.
Mastermind, you know what to do when you come into the house. We are bringing you information that you never had before you. You can go on Google the SAPS 132B registered. And James, we must go and get the register, the name of the EMPD registers, so that we can also come here and prove to Masterminds that those registers exist. We don't need the tracking information. We only need the registers.
Yes. Thank you.
So Masterminds, we're going to NTD and Jobs. Until later, Masterminds, please like, subscribe, and share our content until we come back with more. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.